Hello my lovely people and welcome to New Brunswick. Yes, that's right. Hello and welcome to New Brunswick. In this video, I'm going to be traveling all the way by road along the Bay of Fundy, as well as popping up for a couple of nights in Fredericton, somewhere I missed on my last visit. We will be covering the Hopewell Rocks, St Andrews, whale watching, lots of hiking, the Fundy Trail Parkway, the Fundy National Park, so many different things. And along the way, I'm also going to talk about some of the things I did last time I was here to give you some extra tips and extra things to do. If you are new here, please consider subscribing, hit the notification so you don't miss a video, and give this video a thumbs up if you're enjoying it. And don't forget to check out part 1 where we traveled from Nova Scotia. So we actually entered New Brunswick via Nova Scotia. We flew into Halifax and we did this in 2 parts, a Nova Scotia road trip and a New Brunswick road trip. So do make sure you go and check out that video, but otherwise let's get on with New Brunswick. Alright, so our first stop is the epic Hopewell Rocks. It's actually my 3rd time being there, and if you're coming from Nova Scotia, like I said, it makes sense to come here first. However, we're coming here for a quick visit now. During low tide, it's really busy, but I've always wanted to do the kayaking, and we booked ourselves onto a kayaking tour for sunset later on. So we're going to go down to the Fundy Trail, do a little hike, then we're going to come back and do the kayaking tour, which is really exciting. So many different ways to see these incredible rocks. That is one of them for your bucket list. So just a quick note, I've written quite a lot about the tides here on the Bay of Fundy. So you can probably see this line here, that is where the tide comes to later. Right now it's a proper low tide, and we're going to be kayaking along that line later. It beggars belief. There's actually a really insane time lapse that Kevin Snare did, one of the former guides here at Hopewell Rocks. I might try and cut to that to show you, just to put it in perspective, how big the tide change is. About 12 meters. 12 meters, that's big. We are back at the Fundy National Park, and last time around we did the Dixon Falls hike, which is quite short, it's quite easy. I'm going to cut to some clips of that now, and this time around we're doing Mathew's Head, which we reckon we can do in about an hour and a half. It does say it's a little bit longer, so I'll review that at the end before later we head back to Hopewell Rocks. Alright, we're kitted up and we are ready to go kayaking around the Hopewell Rocks for sunset. It's a beautiful evening. I'm proper excited about this one. Alright, we are now kayaking at Hopewell Rocks. They're just over there. It is bonkers to think that we were 10 meters below this, walking on the ocean floor earlier today. Look at this. Oh, unbelievable. This is an unbelievable experience. There are so many great ways to see Hopewell Rocks, but so far I think this is my favourite. About 8 hours ago we were stood right here, 10 meters lower than we are now. Alright, we are now passing through Lover's Arch. Today we are on the Fundy Trail Parkway. This is my 2nd visit, so I'm excited to be back. And actually there's some new developments since last time. Before you could only go from St Martin up and down the trail. Now they've opened up a new entrance closer to Alma. Our first stop is the Walton Glen Gorge Observation Deck. It's a very short hike from the car park. A little bit foggy right now, but you can see there's a waterfall there, the whole gorge here. And I'm about to do the Eye of the Needle hike, which takes you further down before a couple more hikes today. So I'm really excited to spend probably a good half day to a whole day at the Fundy Trail Parkway. So this hike is the Eye of the Needle, which goes further down into the gorge apparently. It's a there and back hike, much steeper. There's a few bits that are a bit technical, I suppose. You've got to be careful, take your time, use the chains. but listen to the water over there. The view at the bottom is supposed to be epic. Whatever you do, make sure you don't miss this waterfall, which is just up the trail. It comes down there, but we're on our way back up. But look at that, this gorge behind us, a waterfall there. So at the end of the trail, there's a little sign that says that's the end of the trail. And if you stop there, you'll be a bit disappointed because there's not a lot to see there. Now, I was told unofficially that you can go a little bit further. It's quite safe, but it's not a marked trail. But then you get to the viewpoint, which I think is ahead of me now. So it's looking good so far. Right, so this is the last bit of the unofficial path. So it's really nice. I wish I had my swimming trunks to jump in there. The last few minutes is more of the same, so it's up to you whether you come all this way, but this is the view. Alright, the next walk is the McLoed Falls Loop Trail. This is supposedly about an hour to an hour and a half. We've done it straight off the back of the Eye of the Needle hike because it's in the same spot, but you might want to take a break because it's quite steep at the end of the Eye of the Needle. Anyway, I'll let you know how long this one is in due course. This is a steep old bridge to get back up from this waterfall. Lovely waterfall though. Oh man. Well, we are punishing ourselves today. We are doing the Long Beach Brook Falls loop now. It's not massive, but it's so up and down some of these trails. So yeah, our third hike today. We're really focusing on hiking because it's the second time we've been here. Last time we did a lot of the viewpoints, a lot of the different kind of outlooks, beaches. So I'll probably cut to some of that footage as well because it's beautiful. So much you can do. Honestly, you could probably spend a week here, still find other little gems. So I love this place. This is one of my favorites in New Brunswick. So yeah, the next one hopefully is a waterfall. If there's somewhere to swim, I am swimming. I've been waiting for this moment all day. Oh, that is lovely. Right next to the Fundy Trail Parkway is St Martin. Now we actually came here before. It's really interesting because there's some sea caves just over there and the tide is coming into them now, and we kayaked up to them. So the tide goes way out. Obviously we talked a lot about the tides here. So anyway, we came back to Cave's restaurant. Dave has the seafood chowder. I've gone for a wrap this time, but it's pretty cool to have this view over the sea caves. So put that on your list for St Martin when you come back, kayaking around the sea caves. I might even cut to a little shot of them now. Last night after the Fundy Trail Parkway, we drove up to Fredericton, somewhere that I've wanted to come to for a long time. I've heard a lot about the craft beer. We checked into the Hilton Garden Inn, which has amazing rooms actually, and the largest gin collection, I believe, in Canada or New Brunswick. I'll have to check that one. This morning we were supposed to hit the river with Second Nature outdoors. We were going to go kayaking or stand-up paddleboarding. That looks incredible, so make sure you check them out. I'm going to try and cut to some of their videos now so you can have a look at what we missed out on. However, our second option and our rain plan, which you can see it's raining now, was to go to the Beaverbrook Art Gallery. That blew me away. There are some incredible collections there, so actually add that to your list as well as the stand-up paddleboarding or the kayaking on the river. Now we're at Delta, which is another fantastic hotel, and Stammer 36 about to have some amazing lunch. Look at this, they're right here on the river. It's a beautiful spot if you don't go to the Hilton. About to have lunch before we hit the Taproom Trail. We don't care about the rain for the Taproom Trail. We're going to cycle through rain or shine and hit some breweries. We're going to do the Freddy Tap Trail by bike. So we're not going to be biking for too long because clearly it's very wet. So we're going to stop and have a pint, do a bit of biking, stop and have a pint, warm up, try the craft brewery scene here in Fredericton. Let's go! So the great thing about the Taproom Trail is that it's all in a bit of a square. You go from the north side to the south side. They're all around the river. You have a little book that you can get stamped. If you get 8 tap rooms, you get a free t-shirt. The good thing is that when you have the beers, you are on a trail that's not on the roads, so you should be okay, you shouldn't die. But I'm not gonna lie, we've been to 3 breweries now and I've had a few beers.
So we're feeling good.
And I feel a bit wobbly.
We feel good. Well,
so it's really nice to know I'm not on the roads.
Yeah, not in your car.
And the police won't stop me. So we're gonna drop our bikes off and go to one more brewery. Woo. Whoa! Get out. We have salty cheese, which is a New Brunswick thing.
Yeah.
And you have to eat salty cheese with
your beer. You might figure out a little bit. I don't know.
Alright, so I should have a sip of beer.
A little piece of salty cheese.
A little bit of salty cheese. Get a big chunk in there.
Probably.
Have a little bit more beer. That's quite nice. Today we drove down from Fredericton to St Andrews and we have just stopped at the Char and Chowder for a quick bite to eat before we go whale watching. St Andrews is famous for its whale watching and we are heading out. We've actually done this before and we didn't see whales, so we've got our fingers crossed, everything crossed, that today is the day that we see whales. Alright, we just came back from the whale watching. Wow, I am very wind swept right now. Success! We saw a minke whale and we even heard there's a humpback whale right out in the harbour. Unfortunately, we didn't get enough time to go out and see that, but they are here. It's very easy to go and see them. We saw harbour seals, harbour porpoises as well. Really great down the water. Very, very happy with that. So we are now back in St John. We left St Andrews earlier after an excellent afternoon on the water whale watching, and we come to the St John Ale House, which is a Moosehead brewery. Of course, when you come here, you're gonna have to get a little flight. The last time we were here, actually, we did a really cool brewery tour with Uncorked across the whole of the different microbreweries and craft beer shops. So I recommend that. I might even cut to some of those shots now. Another little tip that I forgot to say, here you can see the Reversing Falls Rapids. That's very interesting because of the tides and the river coming in. Really interesting place. Last evening in New Brunswick, just gonna chill and enjoy some beer. So there you have my New Brunswick road trip itinerary with a bunch of extra things to do thrown in for good measure. We finished with a pint and a lovely dinner in St John before taking the ferry back across to Digby and completing the Nova Scotia leg of this trip. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to subscribe, like the video, hit the notifications, pop any questions, any other things to do or any ideas in the comments below. Thanks for watching and happy travels.